Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. My name is Tim Wheaton, and today I am joined by someone who's going to be fighting at One Fight Night 6 on January 13th. Johnny Nunez, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing well. Just finished up wrestling practice and getting some food in me and ready to get packed up to head out tomorrow.
Wrestling practice, man. I've read that you've been in over 2,000 wrestling matches. How much more practice
I,
do you need, brother?
I mean, you just got to keep it fine tuned. I haven't been in the cage for a while, so just fine tuning everything.
Tell me a little bit more about this. I've read that you were in 2,000 matches. How is that even possible? When did you start? Like, how much
Oh
did you do
man,
every week?
I start when I was a kid. Probably about 7 years old, and I'd be at tournaments every weekend in the winter, spring, and summer.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I lived on the road and always traveled. You can't get to that type of wrestling pedigree without putting in the work.
No, absolutely. And it's clearly showing having great success in your career, second fight in one championship, and they're giving you a top ranked opponent.
Yeah,
You're going to be fighting Garry Tonon. Tell us, how's
yeah.
training coming along? What's the game plan? All that good stuff.
Well, it's a great opportunity. I've been asking for a fight for a couple of years now, and I feel like I've just been put on the shelf a little bit. But it's okay. Have a lot of stuff going on. Getting on the Las Vegas Fire Department. So trying to balance that with my two kids that I love dearly and love hanging out with. It's um, performing and booking fights haven't been on my priority. My kids are my first priority, and it's been strictly that for the last 4 years, and I'm happy. I'm just ready to go and have fun and show my kids what hard work looks like.
That's absolutely right. I got a few questions on that. I think it was around this time last year, maybe February. Gave birth at your home. Miesha Tate gave birth at your house. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. It was
2 years
in
ago. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. We were in Singapore. Yeah,
Mhm.
and it was exciting. It was not planned, but I was EMT certified, and I was an EMT, so I knew how to handle the situation, and it was the easiest thing I could possibly done. When you think about it, it's like it's all up here. As long as you're just doing the right things, and things will be just fine. No complications, anything.
But you're way too calm. You must have like the lowest resting heart rate. You're like, yeah, the easiest moment of my life was when my wife was giving
Well,
birth.
I
What are
mean,
you
it
on about?
it was stressful, but I'm talking about looking back on it, like it was just easy. I could do it again and then be so calm and collective. But in those situations, especially being a first responder, you have to take a deep breath and trust yourself.
And it worked out really well, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. That is wonderful news. And you're on the Las Vegas Fire Department now. When did this
Well,
happen? How often do you work?
not yet. I've been applying for different departments here in Las Vegas and in Idaho, and I've been working as an EMT for the last few years,
Mhm.
and yeah, I just got through the hiring process, and I'm just waiting for an offers letter to start the academy here in April.
Well, hey, that's hopefully great news upcoming. But let's talk about the fight that you have coming up here on the 13th, just around the corner. Garry Tonon, he's known for things like Imanari rolls, the 50-50 position. How's all your defense coming along from this stuff?
Well, defense really is my offense, and especially after his last fight with Tom Lee, I know he's going to be changing some things up, but I'm prepared for it. Here in Las Vegas, I have the opportunity of having so many different world champions accessible. So I've been working with a lot, and I'm just ready to go out there and have fun and get back in there, and then you know, number one, show my kids that I'm having fun, and this is a sport, and love to do it.
Man, I love it. You're fighting for your kids more than anything. That's
Oh yeah,
correct.
absolutely, 100%.
Oh man, that's fantastic to hear. And you did say something, a good offense, that's your proper defense. I feel like in MMA we get caught up with really good guard players or people who are very good off your back. Being in
Yeah,
guard is the worst place to be. People who work off their guard, like it is the worst position to be in the sport. Or like stop me when I'm wrong here.
on bottom, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
when you pull guard, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think especially in MMA, it's not a grappling match. It's not going to be a uh, just like a no gi grappling match. It's going to be a fight. So you're going to take some punches to the face, and I'm willing to risk position for a high reward.
Absolutely, man. And you got a ton of experience as well. You started decades and decades ago. You said wrestling changed your life. Wrestling changed the
Yeah,
trajectory of your
absolutely.
life. Sorry. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Well, I mean, growing up in Los Angeles, I just was my parents weren't together, and living a lifestyle of just bad role models. And it wasn't until I moved to Idaho and started wanted to test myself a little bit and realized I wasn't so tough as I thought it was. And I found a family, a wrestling family. So it helped in that sense of my mindset. And I just realized that if you got to work for what you get. You can't just nothing's going to be given to you.
Absolutely. And I think you want to give that back and make sure other people can benefit from that. I think it was 4 years ago
Especially my
almost.
kids.
Go on,
Yeah,
tell us some more.
especially my kids. I want to teach them that same aspect, that wrestling mindset. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. And it's a great thing for a young person to learn. I want to say it was 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, that you and Miesha were working to save wrestling at Boise State. Well,
yep.
was there an update to that? I didn't hear much after.
No update, but we let people know that we were backing it, and the MMA community was backing it, and it's still something that I'm still highly dedicated to. And hopefully by the time my kids are at that age, we'll have a program back. Because eventually we'll be living in Boise.
It's a really nice city. Idaho State is a beautiful
Yeah.
state. I used to do weekends away because I'm just from the Kootenays, like in Canada. I'm not far from there
Oh,
at
okay.
all. So it's a
Yeah,
beautiful area to go down to south of the border, we used to
absolutely.
call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Boise is a lot lower, more south than that, but North Idaho is just as pretty as South Idaho.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some fun pubs just North Idaho.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun place.
Yeah.
So you beat Garry Tonon. Is the plan to fight for a title after that? What do you want after this fight?
Absolutely. That I'm definitely going to be calling it out. It's time. And my time is perfect. I'm at the I would say at the end of my career. Not going to lie, um, especially with firefighting and being a part of my kids' life. I don't want to have this burden of always getting banged in the head and you know having the aspect of not being able to remember anything. So I'd say it's at the end of my career, so I'm definitely chasing that title. And
Definitely
ultimately, for this fight, definitely that bonus.
$50,000 performance bonus on the line. What's
Yeah.
your prediction for the finish in this fight?
Oh, I think a knockout, or even the same position that he was with Gary or with Ton Lee. So um, he's going to make mistakes, and I'll capitalize on him.
Ooh,
He's gonna be in for some surprises, I'm sure.
oh, I'm looking forward to it. And what do you think of the world champion in the division, Tang Kai? How do you see him? How do you see a fight against him playing out?
I don't even know who he is, to be honest. I, I I don't even think I've watched any of his fights. I didn't even. I actually thought Ton was still the champ, but transparent with you, I really don't. Obviously it shows that where my focus is on
Oh,
my kids and stuff that I can immediately um, have a hold of.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's completely reasonable. But it's something maybe down at the end of the year you're looking to have a gold belt on your
Oh
shoulder,
yeah,
correct?
for sure, absolutely, especially by the end of 2023.
$50,000 richer and a gold belt on the shoulder. Let me ask you, do you have any predictions for the other fighters on the card, like Super Bond and Rod Tang, or are you just like, no, I don't care about those guys at all?
Yeah, do you want to be honest? Because I don't even know. I don't even care.
So let me ask you a more general question then. So someone like Rod Tang, he's spent a lifetime in Muay Thai. He said in
Yeah,
a couple of years he wants to transition to MMA. Do you think someone like that who spent their life in Muay Thai can transition smoothly into a sport where there's a lot more going on?
100%. Only if they match him up with the right people. because you got somebody who's that good in one sport, and some people can transition very well, but that guy's had a lot of head trauma. So at this point, by the time he gets to a level of winning a MMA world title or anything like that, he's gonna have to step away from just strictly doing Muay Thai and kickboxing and work on those other assets. But yeah, if he's fighting against guys that are in the same position as him, I don't see it. I don't see him being very successful in it. No,
It's tough.
he
It's
can
very tough, isn't it? It's a different sport,
absolutely,
especially. Yeah.
absolutely,
Now,
yeah.
you had spent basically a lifetime in wrestling. Who are some of the people who inspired you to transition to MMA? Who are some of the fighters you looked up to?
Oh, I had some teammates in college, Scott Jorgensen, who was, you know,
The,
fought in the UFC. He was starting his career when I was still in college, and I trained a lot along his side. And Jens Pulver was around when I was in college. So yeah, that's one of the guys who I really looked up to and wanted to do, especially because the Ultimate Fighter too. That's why I wanted to get on the Ultimate Fighter, and yeah, his knees are nasty too, and just so happens in one championship, I like to that we can knee to the face on the ground.
it's so good. It's such a benefit to wrestlers, the knees to the head of a
Yeah,
grounded opponent.
yeah, absolutely.
No, last question for you here, and then I'll get you out of here. But for someone who's maybe starting in the sport, what's the best piece of advice that you could give someone like that? Maybe they're younger, just starting out. What would you tell them?
Work hard, just work hard, and everything will take care of itself.
Awesome stuff. Hey, Johnny, I really do appreciate your time. You're going to be fighting at One Fight Night 6 on January 13th against Garry Tonon. Last word goes to you. Shout out who you need to shout out, any sponsors, anything like that.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir.
yeah. My sponsors, Smoke and Fire Barbecue here in Las Vegas, been a lot of help. Foodie Fit's been handling my diet, um, and Eco Tent and my gym, Extreme Couture, and our new hyperbaric wellness center, Desert Moon Hyperbarics. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.